Welcome in, everybody. I'm Joey, and we've got some Forza Endurance on the menu today, and it's going to be at Watkins Glen, the full circuit alternate. So this is the NASCAR version without the chicane on the straight, and I actually prefer this version over the one with the chicane. It's just really fun going off the straight into the outer loop. There's always some major overtaking opportunities in that braking zone, so this is definitely going to be a fun one. And Watkins Glen is just always facilitating just the best racing, I feel like, in this game. It's always a good time, and this race is definitely going to be no different. And here's turn one. What do you expect? We're getting pushed wide by a Jaguar. It's just how it goes. This is Forza. That is never going to change. And the Jaguar is not done there. He's actually just going to ruthlessly, just unwarrantedly, that's definitely not a word, but he's going to push that guy to the side. I think he was an Audi. Not the nicest move I've seen, and it's not the end of the Jaguar's questionable driving. But of course I say that, and I'm straight up into his ass, so I really shouldn't be talking that much. But nonetheless, we're past 6th place, into 5th, and we're going to try to track down the Jaguar. That Jaguar, strong acceleration and braking. It's got the advantage there over the Ferrari, but the Ferrari's got the top speed on them. So down the straights, that's where I'm going to look to make my move. The handling's actually pretty even, so it's going to be coming out of the corners and down the straights where I'm going to make my money. So we'll see what we can do here. Coming around the heel of the boot now, dropping down into 2nd gear to get as much acceleration momentum out of the corner, moving over to the right to get a good line into turn 9 here, trail braking, and then keeping it narrow through the corner. Some people like to take it out wide a little bit and take a late apex in there. I like to keep it narrow. It just feels a lot more comfortable for me. But that's pretty much going to round out lap 1 as we're through the penultimate corner and around the final corner now. We're about a second behind the Jaguar in 5th place, and honestly, I'm not too mad about that, considering that we had a pretty disastrous first corner and got pushed wide. I'll take 5th place pretty much any day of the week after a tough first corner, so I'm happy with that. But skipping forward to the end of lap 2, the leader actually wiped out. RIP him. That was only 2 laps. Poor Parallel. I've kind of made a mockery of him there, but Parallel's actually a really fast driver. He's got a YouTube channel and he posts record lap times over there, so I'll put his link in the description. I kind of just made fun of him there, so I'll definitely try to send as many of you guys his way as I can, because he posts some awesome lap times over there, and if you want to get better, you should definitely check him out and stop watching this mediocre shit. But anyways, we got to get back to the mediocrity. So courtesy of that wipeout, I'm up into 4th place, and I've actually closed the gap down to the Jaguar quite a bit. We're within 0.3 of a second now, and we've got a straight coming up. So if I can stick close, yeah, it's going to bode well for us. We might be able to grab 3rd place and get onto the podium here. And he's actually going to go very wide through the penultimate corner. I'm going to make a little bit of contact through the final corner, which is going to slow that momentum down. And we just saw there the leader, Beto, went into the pits. So we're going to have to make a mental note of that. And remember, whenever we end up pitting, he is probably going to be somewhere around us at that point. All that's on my mind right now, though, is getting through the S's here onto the straight with a ton of momentum and catching this Jaguar. The top speed of this Ferrari is really going to come into its own here and show us how it's done. So coming up on the Ferrari here, we're about 0.3 behind, 0.2 behind. I'm going to pull off to the right and send it up the inside Danny Rick style into the outer loop. And he's going to go very wide. I go a little too wide, but luckily we don't make contact there. And putting on a clinic for him, showing him how you go up the inside of somebody without hitting them on the first corner like he did. So yeah, that's always good to see, and we're up into 2nd place, so good stuff so far. As you guys just saw there, I went pretty wide at turn 1 here on lap 6, and I actually spun the tire, so I lost a ton of momentum coming down the straight. And then fast forwarding, I'm going to do it again, so my race is totally unraveling. I lost a ton of momentum coming down this next straight. The Jaguar is going to go past. I try to move to the right as if I had a chance to defend it. and he's through into second. I'm down into third. But I'm not quite out of it yet, so coming around the heel here, we're going to move over to the right side, try to get that nice trail braking line into turn 9 again, and he's actually going to leave some space on the inside. A little bit of contact's made, but I feel like I had the space to make that move. I don't know, a few of you guys might hate me for that one. I did make a little contact on his back end, and that might have slowed him down a little bit, but in the heat of the battle, I thought it was okay, so I kept going. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you thought of that one in the comments. I think that might have been a little dirty, but he's been aggressive with me all race, so I don't know. In hindsight, I'm kind of like 50-50 on that move there. So on lap 8 now, I'm going to make another mistake. I'm going to carry way too much speed through the final corner and go into the wall. That's going to let the Jaguar start reeling me in again. Now into turn 1, braking on the 300 board, the Jaguar is going to take a bite at me. Going to do his worst impression of Daniel Ricciardo and push me totally wide. It's deja vu of lap 1, turn 1. The frustration is definitely starting to kick in, but we're going to have another chance to overtake him here on the straight. We're already starting to reel him in. We're within a couple tenths of a second. I'm going to pull out to the right side. He's going to start edging me towards the grass. Something clicks in my mind, and I just flail to the left in an attempt to ram him. He's into me. I'm into him. We're both into the wall. The Forza Gods look down upon me, though. There was somehow no major damage there, and they're not done looking down upon me because someone just wiped out up here, and oh my god, it was the leader. We're in first place. The Forza Lord, Dan Greenawalt, and his boy king, Chris Esaki, have clearly graced our race and look favorably upon us mere mortals in the loud passage into first place. Now, I'm not particularly proud that I threw the first punch on the Jaguar, but I was a few beers deep, and it was a long work week. It was Friday. I was ready to throw some punches, okay? I mean, can you really blame me? I guess, yeah, you probably can. But anyways, end of lap 9, start of turn 10. Not turn 10, lap 10. And second, third, and fourth all pit. So I'm going to stay out for the next few laps and get stuck in and try to set some good lap times. But also in the back of my mind is that guy that already pit on lap 3 who was ahead of me. So for all I know, he could have already built up a lead. So lap 14 here, I am going to decide to peel off to the right and go into the pits. Coming out onto the track now and taking a look at those time gaps in the bottom left. Zoomin' Human is about 30 seconds ahead. He hasn't pit yet, and if you saw, it took about 50 seconds in the lane in total. So I think as long as we are able to keep that at around 30 seconds and not let that get too crazy high, then I should be safe for him. But Beto, who was the one who pit on lap 3, is now ahead of me by almost 20 seconds. So that's definitely going to be a problem. And then our second problem is, guess who is behind us again? And that is the Jaguar. So he's a few seconds behind. That's also going to be stuck in the back of my mind now too. The next couple laps were some lonely ones, and the time gaps didn't change that much. The two important ones, Zoomin' Human, he's about 34 seconds ahead at this point. And if he pits now, which he has to because it's basically the last lap to do so, we're going to beat him out of the pits. And there he goes into the pits right now. So at this pace, we will be beating him. The second important one is Shadow in the Jaguar. He's about 2 seconds back. So we're going to have to keep an eye on him throughout the last lap here. So speaking of the pit lane, which I've said about 500 times in the last 30 seconds, I am praying to the Forza Gods, Lord Greenawalt and Boy King Chris Esaki. I am praying to you guys that we hear a little bit more about the race strategy in the new Forza at the upcoming Xbox conference that's going to be in, I think, early June, as we just pass by Zoomin' Human, who is just coming out of the pits. So confirmed we are in front of him, and the Jaguar actually passed him as well. I was hoping that we might get a little bit of a battle back there to get me a buffer, but that didn't quite happen. But anyways, with the race strategy at this Xbox conference, like, I'm hoping we see a little bit about how the pits are going to work, because in this Forza, it's you just drive in, you wait about 50 seconds, and then drive out, and that's it. So I am hoping we see a little bit more about, you know, maybe switching tire compounds in the pits, refueling, maybe some animations of the pit crew, like just the little things that I'd love to see that would bring a little bit more of that race strategy element to the game would be awesome. So yeah, if you guys want to pray with me, maybe we can will that into existence. But how these conferences usually work is Xbox wants to show off their graphics, and Turn 10 just wants to show off like all the appealing things for the masses. So we're probably not going to get it, but a man can hope. So that's going to end my prayer to the Forza Gods. We're around the heel of the boot for the final time, coming around turn 9 now, keeping it narrow like I always do, accelerating towards the penultimate corner. And as we turn around this corner, we're going to find that the leader is on the side of the road, and the Forza Gods have blessed us one final time. I have no idea what happened there. I don't know if he spun out. It'd be such a weird place to spin out. So I don't know, maybe he was waiting for us, but either way, that's going to gift me the first place. I was so confused, and it was definitely an undeserved win for sure. I mean, his best clean lap, Beto's clean lap, beat my best clean lap by over a second. So yeah, here are the lap times as they're coming in, and yeah, I don't know. One of the most undeserved races of all time, but then again, you know, the Forza Gods, they have graced this race, and they look favorably upon me. But here is actually the replay that I pulled, because I was really interested to see what happened to Beto. But of course, in typical Forza fashion, halfway through the replay, it just glitches out, and my car just gets stuck coming through the heel of the boot. So yeah, I guess it's gonna remain a mystery what happened there, whether he spun out, whether he was just letting us pass with grace in his heart. I don't know. Anyways, we're gonna finish off this Forza God-given win with a shoey, and Shadow actually disappeared, so we're just gonna put what I think he looks like up there, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.